Morning. Well, new this morning, police are looking for the driver responsible for killing a juvenile in an overnight hit and run. According to LMPD, it happened just before midnight at 16th and Jefferson Streets in the Russell neighborhood. This is near the Western Cemetery. When officers arrived at the scene, they found the girl who was hit by a vehicle. She was taken to the hospital where she later died from her injuries. LMPD believes the person responsible was driving a white sedan, possibly a Mazda, and headed south on 16th Street after leaving the scene. Anyone with information is asked to call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. And don't forget, you can also use the online portal. Well, up in northern Kentucky, 4 people are dead, plus the gunman, and 3 others are in critical condition after a mass shooting on Saturday. According to police, it happened around 3 a.m. in Florence, Kentucky at a birthday party. When officers arrived to the scene on Ridgecrest Drive, they found 7 people with gunshot wounds. The victims who died have been identified as Shane Miller, Hayden Rebecki, Delaney Erie, and Melissa Parrott. Police say the group was gathered at a house for Parrott's 21-year-old son.
Our hearts and prayers go out to the families of the victims, and we're really hoping to support them in any way that we can as a department, as a city. We've never dealt with this before. I know it's going on throughout the nation, but this is the first time that we've had a mass shooting in Florence.
Florence police say they quickly found the suspect, who left in a car, and he's identified as 21-year-old Chase Garvey. After a short chase, police found his car in a ditch and the suspect with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He later died at the hospital. Police believe the suspect was not invited to the party, but he was known by some of the partygoers. Well, tomorrow, Brooks Houck will be back in court in Nelson County. He's one of the main suspects in the Crystal Rogers case. His attorney plans to fight the prosecution's motion to combine his trial with the 2 other men charged, Steve and Joseph Lawson. Houck is charged with murder and tampering with physical evidence in connection to the disappearance of his girlfriend. Rogers was last seen alive during the 4th of July weekend back in 2015. Both Lawsons are charged with conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. The prosecutor has filed a motion to try all 3 men in one trial and claimed they worked together to kill Rogers plus cover it up. Houck's attorneys want his client tried separately, saying the Lawsons were pitted against him during police interviews, with detectives using a get Brooks mentality. Houck is expected to be back in court tomorrow at 9 a.m. And people around Kentuckiana are still cleaning up after 2 tornadoes touched down on the 4th of July. The National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado in the Parkland neighborhood, but no tornado sirens sounded. WHAS11's Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Aspen Hester talked to Louisville NWS about why no sirens went off.
So it's not even strong enough. According to all of our training, all of our science, it's not considered strong enough to have produced a tornado. But it did.
Days after an EF1 tornado touched down in northwest Louisville, while cleanup continues, questions still remain. Why did tornado sirens not go off in West Louisville? Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg addressed the issue Friday.
The way our siren systems work is that once the National Weather Service puts out a warning, that is when our siren system is triggered. Because this all happens so quickly and without warning, that does not happen often, but unfortunately that's what happened yesterday, and so that's why sirens did not go off.
Jefferson County Metro Safe, they wait to get that call, and we did not issue a tornado warning, so they didn't issue.
National Weather Service meteorologist Ryan Sharp pointed out the exact moment the tornado touched down on Woodland Avenue.
It was only there for that one frame.
Sharp says the line of storms that came through Louisville Thursday afternoon were not considered by National Weather Service standards strong enough to produce a tornado.
There is some hesitancy on our part to issue for all of these little circulations. If we issued a tornado warning for every single one of those, you guys, the public would just ignore any of our warnings. So we have to try to focus on the more intense things that we see before we issue a tornado warning, because we want the public to take those seriously.
The tornado touched down in the Parkland neighborhood at around 1:30 Thursday afternoon. It was on the ground for about a minute and tracked half a mile.
It dropped down and came right back up.
West Louisville residents continued to pick back up their homes, and thankfully, no injuries have been reported. In Louisville, Alex Dieterer, WHAS11 on your side.
And Metro government is offering free storm debris drop-off starting tomorrow. You can bring your tree debris to Solid Waste Management Services on Meriwether Avenue from 2 until 6 p.m. The site is set to remain open through Saturday, July 13th.